and the ability to not just grow vertically, but grow horizontally, and then vertically and then horizontally as your career takes you, I think is unrivaled.
Before he started his shift, and just changed all the names of the potential buyer, because you'd have, this is potentially the person responsible for being the stationary buyer. And he was next to me going, "Oh, hello there. Can I speak to Mr. Magoo, please?"
It's much more fulfilling to have a call where you're helping customers out, you're really offering the support, and you're actually helping them out of a tricky situation than it is, just trying to get them to pay, 1 month past due, or just trying to pay them where they're just like, casually in arrears. And it's a night and day different conversation. It's so much more rewarding for folks.
Into world, but what we're seeing is that need for a highly skilled, highly specific agent really coming in. We're now dealing with, subject matter experts who are able to assist and able to supply and apply customers with the information they're critically looking for on their various stage and the touch points.
And started the business from there, really, and set up this 24/7 contact center with the two of us in an office above a garage, no heating, no hot water. We had a dog and a color gas heater, a mobile phone, a fax machine, and a pen and paper.
But I saw some absolute kings and queens at that. They were I was in awe watching them work. They were so unbelievable. And AI is not going to replace those people for sure.
When we measure activity level data, we drive absolutely the wrong behavior. And I just think take a step back and think through why you do the things you do.
Socially driven or predictive analytics elsewhere in everything we do. So every time somebody's trying to sell us something or affect our opinion, there is a heavy layer of predictive analytics sat in there. So our expectation is that when we go to a company to be served, and that's either with a sale or with a query, that we're going to get a similar level of recognition back. I mean, the weather's just so awful in Scotland that you've got to have that sort of hard side to you, some element of it. You've got to be able to persevere through things because, 300 days of rain a year or whatever it is, it's going to, take the best out of anybody. But
it's not transforming anything. It's not innovating anything. It's actually just, can you get your service up to, and on par with what a customer is expecting, and actually you should be delivering.
I've got the easy job. CEO is the easy job, right? The two hardest jobs I've ever done, one was the agent, frontline agent. It is hard. Followed very closely by team leader. Okay. And the team leader is the engine room to any contact center.
How can we expect people to be accountable for stats that they can't see, don't have access to, and can't pull up at a moment's notice? Ultimately, you can't.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm sitting here and being really blasé about it, right? Because I'm not doing it. I can advise people and talk to people around what we see people doing and what works, but you've got to make that decision as an organization. But the decision you make will have a knock-on effect.
Your most valuable time as a people leader is spending time with the people that you work with and your team, and spending time sitting behind spreadsheets and analyzing and cross-referencing different reports coming from different places at different periods of time. It's just not really valuable. And the time that you can really add value as a people leader is coaching and supporting your team.
There can't be, I never heard that before. Nobody ever told me that, which you hear pretty much daily. It really helps get us to the vision of Sugar Plums. But the strategy is set a high bar, hold people to it, and you end up with the people who want to, are on board and work towards the same end goal.
And the bill not incorrect. That's the thing, is the bill's correct. It's the explanation of what to expect when you receive that bill, which is usually wrong because the customer's expectations differ from what they end up actually receiving. Yeah. And that's because there's, if you've got 4,000 agents, there's 4,000 different ways of explaining what your bill's going to look like.
It got to the stage where I'd looked for those, key facts statements that the FCA would make financial services firms provide. And the reason I'd look for that is because unlike most things, it was printed one-sided. So it's really good to use for your shopping list. So I remember literally turning that out of the envelope, everything else in the recycling because I couldn't write on the reverse.
I started to take that first step into the, that management organizational structure, because I was able to coach, I was able to manage, but then I found myself, as any call center manager, supervisor, or leader listening to this would agree with, that you spend 80% of your day dealing with crap rather than coaching and developing and engaging people.
Mental health doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're fat, thin, old, young, white, black, male, female. It is one of those things that, but the sort of, I suppose one of the sort of stereotypes is that, people who run businesses or are relatively successful or, they're bulletproof. And nothing could be further from the truth.
Someone said to me, in relation to a Japanese phrase, the word ikigai. I don't know if you've ever heard of that yet. Okay. So what do you love? What are you good at? And what can you get paid to do? And as much as I loved being a police officer, as much as I enjoyed the camaraderie and not knowing what I was going to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis, I also loved the contact centre.
You still go into a school or a college and you talk about careers with kids, and they never say they want to work in BPO. It just doesn't happen. There's never once one person said to me, I want to work in the BPO sector. That's what I aspire to be. Now, there's something wrong there, isn't there?
Because the other thing is, yeah, but we've got all these smart people in technology. We kind of like your tool, but actually we're going to tweak it. We're going to make it pink for us or whatever it may be. And then that's where the trouble starts to happen.